Hey guys, first regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about the new patch 10.1 hotfix for Space Marine 2. Now, Saber Interactive did say they'd be pushing out a hotfix later this week on their official Discord server. It is finally here. They have touched on quite a few things here for a hotfix. Buff the power axe pretty substantially, up to accolade rewards, and buff the heroic combat knife. But first up, they say here a hotfix has just been pushed on every platform. Following your feedback, we increased the amount of accolades reward for daily stratagems, also the bug causing the Trigon to disappear, and this week's stratagem has been fixed among other fixes. This bug was horrific. Basically, the Trigon could just vanish and your mission would be impossible to complete on the hard stratagem at times and the normal stratagem, which is a pretty terrible feeling because it's the very end of the mission, so glad they fixed this as soon as possible. Now, for the gameplay and balancing tweaks section, they have touched on the power axe here, say the slash momentum and discharge perks places are switched. Now, these were in the incorrect spot on launch, which is pretty hilarious. Discharge is on the top tree, slash momentum is on the bottom, and now this one's on the top, and this one's on the bottom, and it has way more synergy with the proper perk placements there. So, way better here. It's kind of funny they did this at all, but glad it's fixed. Next up, they say whirlwind attacks are widened and damage is increased by 50%. This is a pretty substantial buff. The whirlwind attacks are your heavy spin, and this will make your horde clear significantly better, especially versus Minoris. Before, this thing was hitting like an absolute wet noodle, and it still kind of hits like a wet noodle at times, but it's way better for clearing chaff, which is kind of the whole point of this attack to begin with. Now, next thing to talk about here is the power step attack damage is increased by 66%. Now, power step is the attack you do immediately after a perfect parry into power stance. If you hold down your attack button, you'll shoot out a wave, do some damage, and be able to gun strike immediately after. And a 66% buff to this is quite substantial, though there is a bugged perk on the top tree of the power axe that will make it so this does not have the damage buff, which is pretty lame. Hopefully they fix that in another hotfix, but for now, still a great buff for the bottom tree, and might actually hit some breakpoints, though I haven't tested that personally yet. Now, the next thing they touched on here is that the slash momentum perk description is showing the correct numbers now. Kind of funny this perk was in the incorrect spot and had the incorrect perk description, but is now fixed, thank God. This patch had no PTS server whatsoever, so some things did just kind of like slip by, and now it is finally rectified. The next up, we have the combat knife, heroic combat knife version, power gladius bonus damage for perfect dodge has been increased to 120%. Also note that the description is still incorrect. The bonus damage affects all attacks, not light attacks only. So this is a pretty substantial buff. This was previously a 75% damage increase, so pretty huge buff here. And I will be honest, the prerequisite of perfect dodge is not my favorite in this game. Perfect dodging on a sniper happens way less than a lot of classes do, because first of all, you go invisible and can like straight up break out of some of the enemy attacks. And also this can stack up to a maximum of 3 times, and perfect dodging 3 times in a row in this game without a single melee attack in between does not happen very often at all. So having like a perfect block or perfect parry option on top of this would have been pretty neat, but I mean, a damage increase is not bad either. So we'll see how this actually plays in gameplay. But for now, I think this weapon's still probably mediocre and the second best knife behind the block knife, but only because the block knife is just so damn powerful. And a lot of the other knives, like the fencing knife, are not that good. And the relative balanced knife is just like strictly worse than this one, in my opinion. So it is the de facto second best. Next up, we have the Bulwark. Shield Rush attack no longer stunlocks terminus enemies. Shield Rush was the new attack added to Bulwark in patch 10.0. Basically, you can charge up your shield and rush an enemy for a guaranteed interrupt, and this would work on the Hive Tyrant and Hellbrute in the last patch, because if you're unaware, the only terminus enemies in Space Marine 2 that can be staggered at all, including by block charges, are the Hellbrute and Hive Tyrant because they have a stagger animation. The new Mutalift Vortex Beast, Trigon, Carnifex, and Neurothrope cannot be stunlocked whatsoever because they have no stagger, so pretty funny you could do this to these guys. There was no way this was going to stay in the game. It completely trivialized the Chaos missions when the Hellbrute spawned, and also completely trivialized the Hive Tyrant fight. And honestly, it's like the second time I've had a broken bug like this. Previously, the Shadow Stab could also perma-stunlock enemies like this, but no longer. So Shield Rush is still very good. It's just not trivializing boss fights, which it really never should have. Next up, we have Stratagems. Increase rewards for daily, normal, and hard stratagems to 10 and 15 respectively. Also, the suboptimal state battlefield condition HP penalty is reduced from 75% to 66%. Now, the reward buff here for normals feels pretty good. They just doubled it, went from 5 to 10. Now, the hards went from 10 to 15, which, to be honest, I feel like this should just be 20, if not 25. I mean, 20 seems a little bit more reasonable, but hard stratagems are way harder than normal stratagems are, and the players that put in that extra effort to beat these hard stratagems, because for the majority of the player base, guys, hard stratagems are just straight up almost like, multiple run enders for most people, and these things will also be basically absolute difficulty plus, and the amount of time it takes to finish these could be like 2 to 3 hours for a lot of groups, and that kind of investment should be rewarded more than like having 45 extra points, if you ask me, because like 15 just does not seem reasonable to me. I think the weekly rewards are in a pretty good spot, but the fact that they doubled the normal rewards and they gave like a measly 5 to the hard when the hard is just way harder, I don't think that's very good, to be honest. But normals being in a better spot is pretty good for everybody. But we're a step in the right direction. That's the point. Next up, we have this this nerf to the HP penalty. 75% was a little excessive, to be honest. 66% should prevent you from winning one shot in a lot of classes, especially tactical. Tactical could just get nuked in this mode, and this is part of the weekly stratagem this week. So now the hard weekly is easier, so hopefully a lot more people get their accolade points this week. I think this is actually a pretty good fix here. Next up, they have PvP with the multi-melta. The interval between shots is now enforced when transitioning to the standing position. Additionally, the rate of fire from hip fire has been increased from 35 to 50 rounds per minute. I don't play PvP a ton, but I know there was like a bug where you could just basically rapid fire your multi-melta. Glad that is fixed for those people that enjoy this mode. Next up, we have customization. Lots of minor customization fixes. Mark 8 Errant Helm without decorations is now available for purchase, and the Mark 7 Firstborn helmet without decorations will be available later as well. And I am super excited for this one. We finally have confirmation of this, and this is like the coolest looking helmet in the entire game. This came out in patch 10.0 with Laurels in the requisition store, not the requisition store, the accolade store. And the Mark 7 helmet is like the coolest looking helmet in 40k to me, at least for Space Marines, besides maybe the beaky one. And overall, this is a great thing that's coming up for us. And the Mark 8 Errant helmet is also a very cool option that a lot of people wanted. This was previously a FOMO Twitch drop, among other ways to get it in game, or actually, no, they brought it back as a Twitch drop twice, and now you can actually buy it in the stores. That's very good they actually did this, because this was like the only one missing. Great update here for sure. They also say here the Ultramarines Champion armor parts are now correctly locked by the Ultramarines Champion Pack DLC. This was a pretty funny bug. You could use all the Ultramarine Champion parts in your customization without owning the DLC at all last patch, but now they fixed that. And also now you can purchase the Ultramarines Champion as a independent DLC in patch 10.0 anyways, so probably just like a little bit of an issue they made with that. Next up, we have levels. Operation Vortex. Armory data is correctly rewarded for killing the Vortex Beast. I didn't even know this was an issue, but glad it's fixed. And next up, they have general fixes. Fixed a bug causing the Trigon Prime to leave the boss arena to attack Cadians in stratagem mode. That is pretty hilarious. Fix a bug, the Emperor's Vengeance perk tactical, not restoring Melta charges for the heroic bolt rifle version of the Combi Melta. This is a great change because the Emperor's Vengeance perk was not giving you any Melta charges back for your Combi Melta, and Combi Melta can be pretty ammo hungry at times. This is a great perk synergy for sure. Next up, they say fixed stratagems didn't work when offline. Fix a rare issue in the Hellbrute Onslaught game mode, causing a black screen after selecting a class. Minor localization fixes, lots of minor bug fixes. So hopefully they fix the parry bug, but I doubt it. Next up, they say for tech, crash fixes, and general stability improvements, and they talk about the known issues. More than 4 battlefield conditions can currently be active in a single stratagem mission, but the selection menu will only show 4 of them. Will be fixed and limited to 4 in an upcoming hotfix. So this is a huge issue that's been going on. There have been like hidden modifiers in some of the hard stratagems, and some of them have been practically impossible to beat for a lot of players. Pretty stupid that's an issue, and it's still not fixed, but it is in another upcoming hotfix. Hopefully, the upcoming hotfix will also fix some more balancing issues and stuff like that, but this is a step in the right direction, and the fact we have not 1, but 2 hotfixes coming from Saber Interactive in such a short period of time is a pretty rare thing, guys. It seems like the support for this game is definitely upping quite a bit, because previously, we had like 1 PTS server, they maybe did like 1 hotfix to the PTS server and just sent that shit live, and you had to wait like a month for like a brand new patch to get any real huge balancing fixes, so great stuff here for sure. And they also say here, on exfiltration, bots are not following the player through the elevator to enter the base. This can be caused when enemies are still in the area. Completely clearing the area and rushing to the elevator before the next wave of spawns should prevent this issue. So I'm assuming they're going to fix this in the next update. We're just giving you like a little bit of a workaround for now. So I have heard about this bug here. I haven't personally encountered it, but pretty shitty that exfiltration has so many issues. Anyways, guys, that is all for the hotfix here. I mean, these are mostly good changes, and the fact that this is the first balance wave they've done on this it's a pretty good step in the right direction, like I said before. And Saber Interactive has been out with these hotfixes a lot faster. They did mention before they were aware the full throttle skip has like a weird delay on it. They're trying to fix that at some point. Maybe they did in like this little minor bug fixes thing here, but we'll see in the future what they do as well. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the new buffs and nerfs here, or just a nerf to the Bulwark shield rush attack, which to be honest was totally justified. And let me know in the comments below how you feel about the hotfix and the patch in general. And as always, if you like content like this, subscribe for more and take it easy, guys. Bye.